Okay, let's talk about construction scheduling. We're going to get into how we can move beyond those simple plans, the ones that look amazing on paper but completely fall apart the second they hit the real world. In this explainer, we're going to transform our understanding of schedule logic so we can build roadmaps that actually reflect how projects get built.
So let me ask you a question. Is that beautiful Gantt chart you're looking at a reliable map that's going to get you to the finish line, or is it kind of a work of fiction? All too often, our schedules are just way too optimistic, completely ignoring that complex dance of different trades, all trying to work on a busy site.
In this right here, this just perfectly illustrates the problem. Look at the left. That's the simple plan. Activity A finishes, then activity B starts. It's clean, it's easy to read, and it's often totally wrong. Now look at the right. That's the messy reality. You've got plumbers, electricians, and HVAC crews all in the same area, overlapping, following each other in this carefully coordinated sequence. The simple plan just can't capture that.
So, to bridge that gap, here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into that reality gap. Then, we'll build up our modern scheduling toolkit. After that, we'll unlock the real power of something called lags, see how to put them to work, and then cover the common traps you absolutely need to avoid. We'll wrap it all up with the scheduler's golden rules.
All right, first things first, let's get our modern toolkit stocked up. We're going to look at the 4 fundamental relationship types that let you model what actually happens in the real world.
Let's start with the classic, finish to start, or FS. This is the one everybody knows. You pour the foundation, then you start framing the walls. One task has to completely end before the next one can even think about beginning. It's really the basic building block of scheduling, but trust me, it's not the whole story.
Now this is where things get a lot more interesting. Start to start, or SS. With this one, a task can begin once its predecessor has started. This is absolutely perfect for modeling work that happens in parallel. Think about an electrical crew following a plumbing crew from one floor to the next. They don't have to wait for all the plumbing on the entire project to be finished before they can get going.
Next up is finish to finish, or FF. This one is all about synchronized endings. The successor task can't be marked complete until the predecessor is also complete. This is fantastic for things like final system testing and commissioning, where 2 totally separate streams of work have to wrap up at the exact same time.
And finally, we have the rare one, start to finish, or SF. An activity can't finish until another one starts. Honestly, you'll almost never see this in construction. It's a really specialized tool for unique scenarios like shift handovers. But hey, it's good to know it exists. So let's move on.
Okay, now we get to the real game changer. Knowing those 4 relationship types is great, but the true power to create realistic schedules, well, that comes from understanding and mastering lags and leads. So what even is a lag? It's simple, really. It's just an offset, a built-in waiting period between 2 activities. A positive lag creates a delay, and a negative lag, which we also call a lead, lets the next task start a little bit early. This is the secret sauce that adds all the nuance to our logic.
Now, the why here is what's so important. Why do we even need lags? It's because they let us model those partial overlaps, the messy reality we saw earlier, without having to create dozens and dozens of tiny, unmanageable activities. Lags keep the schedule both realistic and readable.
Let's make this super clear with an example. Imagine the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing work, the MEPs, in a big apartment building. The plumbers start in the first unit. We use a start-to-start relationship, but we add a 2-day lag. What does that do? It means the electricians can start their work in that same unit just 2 days after the plumbers begin. Then both trades can move through the whole building in parallel. Now that's realistic scheduling.
So we've got the theory down. Let's jump into the application and see how this all builds into a best practice. Because knowing how to use lags is every bit as important as knowing what they are.
So here's the crucial point. The most powerful and common way to use this is by combining a start-to-start relationship with a positive lag. This should be your go-to move for any overlapping workflow. You start digging a trench, and after you've made some good progress, the pipe-laying crew can start working right behind you. It's efficient, and it's how work actually gets done on site.
But here's the trap you have to avoid. Be really, really careful using a lag with a finish-to-start relationship. It's often a red flag that you're hiding something, some kind of process or waiting period that should really be its own separate visible activity on the schedule. And this quote just nails it.
Think about it. You pour concrete, and then it needs to cure for, let's say, 7 days. That 7-day cure time, it isn't a lag. It's a critical physical process. The concrete is working. That needs to be its own activity on the Gantt chart so everyone can see it, track it, and plan around it. Hiding it as a lag just creates invisible risk.
Which brings us to a super important section, the warnings. Because when these powerful tools are misused, they can create schedules that are confusing, fragile, and, well, downright dangerous to your project's health.
So I want you to ask yourself this. What hidden dangers might be lurking in your schedule right now? Because misused lags can totally distort your critical path and give you this false sense of security.
Okay, let's break down the 3 biggest pitfalls. First is non-overlapping lags. This is when you shorten a task, but you forget to shorten the lag, and boom, your logic is broken. Second is hidden logic. Lags don't always show up on a printed schedule, which can really confuse the team in the field. And third, what we just talked about, using lags to represent actual work, which hides key processes from everyone's view.
And I can't overstate the danger of all this hidden logic. It can completely change what your critical path actually is, meaning you could be focused on the wrong activities. It causes these massive misunderstandings about sequencing and float, which are the very things a schedule is supposed to make crystal clear for the team.
Okay, let's bring it all home. We've looked at the problem, we've got the tools, and we've seen the traps. Now let's wrap this up with a clear, actionable set of golden rules to keep your schedules honest, effective, and realistic.
Here they are. Number 1. Use start to start with a lag for those overlapping trades. 2. If it's a real physical process, like concrete curing, make it its own visible activity. Don't hide it. 3. Every time you change a task's duration, you have to review the lag attached to it. 4. Try to avoid negative lags. Those leads, they can really complicate things. 5. Transparency is everything. Your whole team needs to understand the logic. And finally, number 6, review every single lag during every single update cycle to make sure it all still reflects reality on the ground.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Take a hard look at your project plan. Is it telling the unvarnished truth about how the work is actually going to get done with all its messy overlaps and dependencies? Or is it telling a simpler, more convenient story that you know just isn't going to hold up under pressure? The answer to that question makes all the difference.